Hello, you viewers. This is Ben C coming at you with another video. It's been a while, I know. Uh, I apologize if I sound a little funny. I'm getting over a stuffy nose. Yeah. Also, apologies on the camera work and audio in general. Some things have occurred that have had me that have brought me to a lesser point of uh, filmography, or whatever you want to call it, or whatever it is. I don't have the tripod anymore, or phone stand. I literally just made one out of some scrap wire I had because I didn't have one. So that's what my phone is sitting on at the moment, and yeah, so it's kind of just to let you know I'm still here and all that. Maybe go over a few tools that I've found and quite or not found, but discovered and would like to share. And yeah, so I guess let's start off with this guy. And apologies if there's any any bumps and all that. All right. So here, this is a mini or a mini Maglite. This is not the standard mini Maglite. This takes, or it might be the Mag Mini that I'm thinking of. I don't. Either way, this takes AAA batteries. The standard mini Maglite, or the Mag Mini or whatever. I don't remember. It's been too long. My brain is just cooked. So all the soldering fumes. No, I'm just kidding. But this guy, I found it at a yard sale for like 50 cents. And I said, you know what? It's a Maglite. They're US made. It's an LED version. I don't know if you can see. There's an LED in there. And I've wanted to try one of these, but I haven't been able to justify, or I haven't been able to drop the $15. So I was like, 50 cents. If I like it enough if I like it, like I think I will, I'll go out and buy a new one and get one, a non-LED version, because LED is good and all, but there's a lot of instances where I can't use LED, just because of the fact that it reflects off of just about every surface it hits. That's how intense they are usually. So I prefer to use the old school incandescent, halogen, xenon, whatever you want, whatever bulb is in the standard. So, this is like a pen. Here, let me grab a Sharpie. Whoops, dropped the Sharpie. That's aside from the head, obviously, but that's right there. That's a Sharpie, about a Sharpie diameter. That's gonna fit more places than even the Mag Mini, and it's brighter than. Yeah, so that was something I found and I thought was interesting, and for the longest time I was not aware that they made that Maglite actually produced a 2-cell AAA. But yeah, let me pause real quick and pull out my standard Maglite. So just for comparison, here's my Maglite I recently, or a while ago, I had to give up my grandfather's. Just too much repair needed on it. So, but I bought an identical, or as close to identical as I could, and yeah. So this is just a standard 2 AA cell mini Maglite, or Mag Mini. Yeah, mini Maglite. So yeah, and this it's not particularly bright. If I recall correctly, it's about 15 lumens. And I usually just use rechargeable batteries in them or rechargeable batteries or disposable lithium batteries, just because the way that the battery chemistry doesn't require off gassing. I may be wrong on that, but it's not the same and it doesn't leak as much. Like, for example, that's that's old incandescent style. That's still perfectly good. And that's actually that's even in this room, which has a very, very bright light, though it may not seem like it, but that's still significantly bright enough for what I need. And, here's the LED. These are rechargeables in this guy. Some rechargeables that I scavenged from old equipment of something, I don't remember. I think it was a wireless headphone set for TV system or something. But yeah, it's just yeah. And then here's my grandfather's sorry, don't do that. My grandfather's mag light that he used to keep in his truck. That's the big one. That's my big one. I put an upgraded bulb in that because the batteries were still good, but they were not able to supply enough beans, if you will, to the halogen. I believe they're halogen bulbs. These were supposed to have obviously, there's leeway and stuff, but these were best before 2007. Currently, it is 2026. And these, with the LED bulb, oops, well, oh, duh, you didn't have the cap back on. Come on. Still work. No, it's probably not as bright as I could get it, but it was a cheap bulb at the time that I bought the bulb, and it was a good bulb, and it's still working. It's been whacked around, it's been it's been through a lot, yeah, I do keep a spare incandescent bulb in the back in case something, for whatever reason, happens to the LED. I think people should do that anyways, but, I'm just some idiot on YouTube, so, alright. Let me pause and, next thing is an X-Acto knife, but to be more exact, and I know that's a very bad pun, and it was not intentional, but I recommend the Alpha brand. It's quite nice. It's nicely balanced. It has a cap. I have tried X-Acto, at least some newer X-Acto knives, branded X-Acto, X-Acto brand, and they worked okay, but the way that they gripped the blade did not hold well. It was, not great design. It holds it beautifully. I haven't had the chance to use it much because I don't have to use an X-Acto much, but when I do, I usually end up having to use it for, good purpose or whatever, and so I decided, you know what, it's only like $15. It comes with a couple of blades, and it's made in Japan. I was a little worried about how it would feel, but even with the plastic handle, the rubber's nice. It's a really good, nice rubber. It's really nice. It's very nicely balanced. It's a little heavy up front, but I mean, that's where you're going to be holding it anyways. It's not, for what I do at least, it's perfect. And I think that I mean, like, I can't. I have to put so much force on the blade just to try attempting to pull it out. I can't physically pull it out with my hands, and that's what I like. Yeah. So, and you can put the cap on the back. Actually, I don't remember. Yes. Not great, but it does snug on there, and I did have to pull it off with a little bit of force, so it does work. And as I said, it was only like $15. It came with a few types of blades and a couple of spares as well. And then what else? Yes. So this is mostly like hobby stuff, whether it be for crafts or soldering or electronics or whatever. But I'm just going through some tools that I've either recently come across or whatever, as I said in the video earlier in the video. But if you ever get in one of these guys, go with like a engineer brand or a Kodo, or go with a nice version of this. If you're looking at these, do not go with the $5 ones. They work for about, depending on how often you're soldering, they'll work for, for me, I had one for, I want to say I had it as long as the knockoff cartridge type soldering iron that I've had, because it came with it. And actually, it might have been even longer. It might have been going back before this or earlier into this channel. But it finally croaked on me. Gave up the ghost, whatever. And it sucked, honestly, in a bad way. So I went and I got a slightly nicer, less crap version. It's still junk, but it does a lot better than the other one. But I would recommend going with like an engineer brand Koto or Koto, Kotto. They are a nice one. I haven't tested one yet. When I get a hold of one, or when I finally lose my patience with this guy and decide to upgrade, I will let you guys know. But for the moment, this guy works. You don't have to spend the $30 on the engineer or the Kodo if you really can't swing that. But don't do the bare minimum, the $3 to $5 one. Go with the 10, 15. The in between, the aluminum, because this is aluminum. It's a metal cap, threaded cap, and yeah. Go with a little bit nicer than the cheap plastic crap, because it'll save you a lot of frustration off the get go. But there's that. Let's see. I guess I should also kind of give. Let me turn this on because the back lighting is a little bit. There we go. Is that better? I hope so. Let's see. Oh, yes. I have gone over this in other videos, and in some of my earliest videos that I talk about this, I may have misspoke, been misinformed, or such. When you're using solder, when you're soldering and you're getting your first stuff together, do not use the lead-free solder. It is horrific. It requires a vastly higher temperature. I think the lead solder in Celsius, just because I despise Celsius, it just for whatever reason it sticks in my head and I don't know why. I think 183 is what 183 degrees Celsius is what the lead solder or generally melts at. It varies depending on the brand and stuff and the thickness and all that. The lead-free stuff is like 200 to 300 degrees, somewhere in there. Probably like 280 or something degrees Celsius, which is way higher, and it doesn't work as well. It doesn't melt as nicely. It doesn't, yeah. And anybody who's concerned about the fumes that you're seeing come off of the solder, that's not the lead. That's the rosin core, and you don't want to be breathing that in anyways. The lead is not, obviously I wouldn't say, manhandle it all day and then not wash your hands or, whatever. But just use the lead solder. I promise you, you will realize, you will understand what I'm saying, especially, if you're doing it enough. And but even if you're not doing soldering often, like I used to, I used to solder very, very rarely, and that's why I was able to justify not getting a soldering station, even a $50 one from Amazon, and until I finally started getting more into soldering, and now I have two soldering stations, because one was a deal that I could not pass up. The other one was I was getting into soldering, and I went with a cheap Amazon one that was supposed to be a better version of whatever, and I like it. I do it, but yeah, yeah. Uh, I use Kester's 6040 rosin core solder. They have no clean. The Kester's that I use is really nice. It is expensive, but I think it's like a 1 pound, a half pound to a pound roll of solder. I mean, depending on how often you solder, I'm probably not gonna get very far into this roll or the roll. I mean, I've already been using it for a while, but it's just one of those things where if you're not soldering too often, just to get some nice, don't have to go with, again, the most expensive in terms of soldering like station, because I went with a $50 Amazon, and for what I do, it is sufficient. I'm gonna try this new station that I got. It's a Hakko FX 888D. They recently discontinued this version, Hakko. So, but they still have parts for it. So I got it, and I'm gonna see how well that works. But yeah, depending on if it works, if it's yeah. So, anyways, yeah, you can go with a $50 Amazon. Here, let me show you the station I've got. I think I've showed this in previous videos, but it's just a little T12 soldering iron, and go with that, and some good solder, and you shouldn't have too many problems. But that, and what else? Let's see. Trying to think here. Allen keys. I have been using, I went through machine shop in high school, and, we were using Allen keys a lot in the lathes and stuff, and just in general for tool changes and all that stuff. I have been using the Eklund and the Bondus, for a little while now. I really like the Eklund and the Bondus. The Bondus is a nicer wrench. They're both red, which is a little annoying to me, because this is the metric set, and I have almost a huge majority of my metric tools, such as sockets and stuff, on like blue or black or gray, and all my Imperial is red, and so I got to be careful if I'm ever in a hurry grabbing, because this is metric, but it's in red, and this is imperial, but it's red, and which is the color that anyways. This is like a full-on kit. I got this, and let me pull it out actually. The Eklund set right there came as a 2-pack for I think like $30, and it came with the stubby metric, and the more comprehensive full-length imperial set, and these are okay. The metric stuff, this small little set, but if you need leverage or anything, or more leverage, and this also is not. This skips a bunch of sizes that I feel like it's worth it. Just spend a couple extra. Even eventually, if you find that you're having sizes that you're having to go out and buy another one, buy this set of metrics, because this goes from 0.127 millimeters. Let me see. This goes from 1.27 to a 10, and it, as far as I'm aware, it does not skip. It's got 1.27, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this guy has, well, as you can see, 5, 6, 8, 10. Like, okay. So if you can swing the 25 and 30 for this, and the 25 for just the standard like length, I would suggest it. If not, just go with the $30 for the two, and get this as the metric, is the bigger metric if needed, or when needed, or whatever. I've found it. They're so far they've been pretty good. Yeah. What else? Trying to cover some tools that I have never shown before, that are of these guys. And this guy. I think I've shown this before, but still, I'll go over it again, because I don't think I've gone over it enough. This is the smallest ratchet that I have, and this one of the smallest 1/4-inch drive ratchets that I have ever seen. And it's an old Snap-on GM 70-M, I believe. It's a little faded, you get one of these guys, you clean it up, you give it a little bit of oil. If you need to, you can get a repair kit. Let me pull out the repair kit number for you guys, because there's nothing or as far as I was able to tell, they don't have a real list of, there's a list of all the repair kits, but since this was a government issued thing during the 40s originally, I believe, there's not technically an official kit for it, and sometimes they are not always 1/4-inch, because there wasn't a standard. They weren't standardized like they are now. I don't remember the size that it can. I don't remember. Yeah, so you might need to buy a repair kit, a rebuild kit, just to be able to put a 1/4-inch socket. But it's only like $20 for the repair kit, usually on eBay. You can get them brand new. Here we go. RKRA 930A. And it is a 1/4-inch drive set. It comes with a little bag of lube, or a little tube of lubricant and all that. And so, yeah, that I would suggest. And then going to this, these are tap sockets. So what you do, what these are for is, say you got a tap and you don't have one of these in the right size, or you can't find your tap handle or whatever. You just take this guy and find whatever one it fits into, the smallest one it fits into, and this would be, I believe this is a 1/4 inch, yeah. So, and you just take it onto your ratchet and you just stick it in there and you just kind of ratchet it in to tap it, and then every few turns you just pull it back out a little bit and so on. And it comes with a fair decent size set, or different varying sizes, 3/8, 1/4 inch for the ratchet size. This was the smallest ratchet that I had owned until I got one of these guys. You can see, I mean, it's absurd. And this was during the 40s, where a lot of people think that that was not, or in a time where people didn't need to be so compact. Yet, that's pretty good. That's significant. This is a 50s or 60s model. So, of Craftsman. This is a Snap-on, but yeah, and it's just stuff helpful. I believe I've showed something similar to this in a previous video. If not, well, here we go. This is a screw-holding screwdriver, and I have found that don't know what I would do without one of these. Especially, it's not often that I need it, but there are moments when I'm dealing with, like, for example, actually, right here would be a good example. This guy right here, that little screw. Trying to put that in and tighten it down and get it started, so that way I can just whatever. Take this. You can pop the screw. You just slide the screw in from whichever side, and then let go, and then obviously align the screw so the slot is matched with the head, but and then let go, and then it holds it, and it's a little bulky in certain situations. I can acknowledge, but I mean, it works well, and I realistically saved my bacon a few times, actually, as I was about ready to throw tools and parts and stuff across the room because I was losing my patience, and I finally said, all right, let me dig it out. And I went and I was like, oh, this is so much easier. So yeah, it was that's sort of definitely something I'd suggest. I've got, oh yeah, here we go. There's some T-handles, some nice good quality T-handles. This, I want to say this was a like a Habitat for Humanity kind of place that I've found this at, or either that or a yard sale or a flea market. And I bought this, and I use it for my RC stuff. It's very good. I would love to get a full set of them, but the price is a bit out of budget at the moment. So what else? Oh yeah, here we go. Files and more files. These guys right here are specialty files. I found both of these at a train show this past winter, and I said I'm not messing around again anymore. I'm done dealing with, not being able to get rid of burrs because I don't have a file that can get at the angle that it's at or whatever. So I bought both packs, the larger pack. They're Chinesium, but hey, they're files. If need to, I'll find some more at a train show because they had an abundance, and so yeah. They've got like different obviously, needle files have different profiles. Triangular cross section, if you're looking at it as a cross section. Triangular, round, semi-round, but these all have a little angle on them, and each end. Let's see. Yeah, you can kind of see through with the light coming through. Yeah, these guys are helpful in situations where you can't quite get the right angle to deburr it, or to clean something up, or whatever. So that... I made a little screwdriver holder. I think it was a little bit smaller than a 1/4 inch bit. I'm drawing a blank, one moment. So I used a 7/32 bit. I believe it was a 7/32, something like that. And I just drilled out a bunch of holes using a little benchtop drill press that I found at a yard sale a while ago. And I got my little Exolite tweaker drivers, tweakers, little pokey bits. The freebie Snap-on screwdriver that for some reason the Snap-on truck that's near me does not give. I'm disappointed, but whatever. An old school Craftsman, I think, Super Tough handle from, I want to say, the 60s or the 50s, something like that. And then U.S. Craftsman, Sears Craftsman, flathead. Here's little Torx drivers that I have, T6, T8, Craftsman Professional, US made, electronics one, and then here's a little, I think, Pros Kit, T10 security driver, security Torx. And then over here is the Phillips, and I just used some offcuts of wood that I had laying around and made a little jig to hold everything. And yeah, I got another Craftsman Professional US made. I don't know if this one was a Sears or a Stanley, because Stanley was making some US stuff for a little bit, but they basically screwed us over because they promised us, and then they got a little lily-livered. But whatever. Here's another US, and a lot of my tools, in these videos, a lot of the tools that you see all at once did not occur over one, were not all acquired at the same time, obviously, but they took a long time to build up. Find US stuff, the good quality stuff at good prices or whatever, and they it was painful to separate some prices on certain things, but here's a good example of something that I have found that I really couldn't. I've got real. These have saved my bacon as well, because if you've ever had a super glue bottle or model glue tip that gets plugged, you know that sometimes it's hard to find the right a nail or pin or whatever that's thin enough. And these are welding tip cleaners, welding nozzle cleaners. I mean, they go really fine. And at that same train show that I got I believe it was the same train show anyways, that I got those files at. I also acquired a little ring of the even finer, even thinner cleaners for like airbrush, but I mean, for airbrush tip cleaning, these ones are for that, but I mean, they work just fine. I got these because I was having a hard time finding thinner ones, because I've had instances where I've needed such things. But yeah, this is an old US Thermo tip cleaner, Harry F. Graves ink, different sizes. So, and this was a Forney that I've got at an Ace Hardware for like $15. I think I paid like $3 for the Thermo, but this one's kind of cheap, and it works, but yeah, it just doesn't have that same good juju feel kind of thing. What else? I've got a little bottle of orange thread locker. I had a blue bottle. I don't remember what happened to that, but yeah, this stuff works pretty good. I have no use for red thread locker. If I come across something, I will go out and buy a small little tube of it, just because, yeah. I have no... the amount of times I need red thread locker is zero. So I use orange or blue if I need something to stay, because I have no desire to rent an oxyacetylene torch just to get something unstuck, because I used thread locker that was not the right kind. So that started off going well with different tools, and now I'm having a hard time, even though the amount I required has more than sufficiently built up. This guy right here was a recent discovery, an acquisition at a yard sale type thing. It's a Makita auto clutch finder driver thing. I haven't had a chance to use it yet, but basically it is a built-in clutch that you adjust by dropping this guy down and then tightening this down farther, so the big sleeve and small sleeve go together, kind of. It's got a screw guide on it, and I doubt that Makita makes these still. This is a US made version, if they do. And so I don't know. Let me pull the package real quick. I'll give you a part number. I don't know if it'll help, but if you're ever looking for something like that, part number 78, is that, yeah, that's that's 8, sorry, part number 784857-A. This is the packaging, the old packaging. I don't know if they still make it. I don't believe they do, but this is what the old package looked like. So that, oh yeah, here we go. Okay, now things are coming back to me. We've got, so there's that. Not much I can say about that one right now. So, yeah. But we have a set of screw extractors. Now, I got that as new old stock, US made. I don't remember exactly where I got this. I want to say a similar situation, but I accidentally broke one of the smallest ones during an RC screw extraction event. Yeah, I been trying to find another set that's the same, or more comprehensive. Finally found one. Had to spend a little bit of money. these are really nice. I really like them. You got to make sure you're always following whatever the instructions are saying. Usually it's just run them in reverse. So because they're left-handed, meaning they drill out in reverse, basically. So yeah. I mean, I still got, these are spares now, and then this is my main set, and it's got some extras, so. And here's my Starrett number 472 thread pitch, Imperial thread pitch gauge. I gotta get a couple of more for the metric, and I believe one more for Imperial. I mean, this has got almost all of them. It goes from four thread to 18 on this leaf set here. The next leaf is 20 to 50. The third leaf set is 52 to 84, and yeah, that's practically everything, almost every 60-degree thread pitch that there is, aside from like a handful. So that standard, at least, anyways. So that was that took a little bit of time to get, and then yeah, I guess that's it. I don't want to make this video too long, even though it's already at 40 minutes plus. So alright, thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. If you found anything helpful or interesting, if you have more questions, comments, concerns, please leave them below. Talk to you later.